Hello, comrades. Commissar Bro here today with a very interesting game. Yes, that's right. This is it's called the Business Strategy Game. This is actually a game I'm playing for my strategic management class and competing against other students in my class in this particular game. And this game was just so much fun and had such an interesting concept that I couldn't help but want to share it with you guys. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for sharing it with either the company that makes the game, because it's published by McGraw-Hill, the educational. They do textbooks. I'm sure quite a few of you are familiar with them. But ultimately, this is a really cool game, and I just kind of want to talk about it. So the core premise of this game is you are a shoe manufacturer. Think Nike. You make shoes and you distribute them on a worldwide scale, and you try to be successful as a business. Now, in doing so, you're competing against fellow members in your class. Again, this game is only available to students associated with a school, unfortunately. But yeah, you're competing with people in your class, and you at the end of each week, it updates the new round, which is a whole year. In-game time, and basically what you do is you input all the stuff that you want to do in sales forecast and corporate citizenship and so on, and you try to take control of the market and be an incredibly successful shoe manufacturer. That's right. Now, to some of you, this probably sounds incredibly boring, but to me, this is an absolute blast. Sitting here competing against people, trying to see who picks the best, essentially the most effective strategy in creating the strongest company. Right over here, if we go to the scoreboard, it actually shows how you're scored. I'm right here as number 2. So far, this is a practice, and only 1 year has actually gone by, which was year 11. And as you can see here, my investor expectation score is 106, my best in industry score is 89, and my overall score is 98. I'm currently being beat by another student in my class, Easy Sneaks. He's taking a very interesting approach. If he's going to be able to beat me in year 12, we'll soon find out. We'll find out by probably about tomorrow, and I'll do another video. What I'm hoping to do is I'm actually hoping to do a whole 10-week series on this game, kind of chronicling my journey from starting out and in the first year and going all the way for a full 10 years and hopefully succeeding and beating the other students in my class. Right now, again, the first 2 rounds are only practice. This is currently a practice round that we're in now, but it's meant for you to kind of get a hang of the game and understand what you're doing and learning and so on and so forth. It's really cool. It's really cool. I really like this game thus far. And look at that. There's all this potential upgrades. Yes. Purchase of existing capacity and so on. So basically, the way the game works, again, you have a certain number of factories, as you can see here, which is shown in capacity. This represents the fact that I can produce 2 million pairs of shoes, or 2,000 in this case. If we work in overtime, we can produce an additional 400. And so on and so forth. I've actually purchased more capacity this turn, specifically 300, but with an additional 60 in overtime. So in total capacity, just in my North American plant, we can produce upwards of 2.3 million pairs of shoes. I purchased last year 1,000 factory capacity in Europe and Africa. So basically, we can produce a million more pairs of shoes. And in the Asia Pacific, we already had 4,000. So we can produce 4 million pairs of shoes there. So we've got some pretty good capacity starting out. I actually think we're in the lead as far as it goes with capacity if we compare it to the fellow students in the class. So the other screen you've got is branded production. This is this is your mainstay. This is where most of your money is going to come from. essentially, branded production is like full-blown Nike shoes, like the various models of Nikes that exist, and so on and so forth. That's what your branded shoes are going to be. They're the expensive one, the high-quality shoes. And as you can even look here, as how I've made my shoes, they're very, very expensive shoes to produce. But they're really nice shoes. So hopefully it's gonna work out in my favor how many I'm producing. So branded distribution here actually shows how we're going to distribute all the shoes that we produce, and where they're going to be sent in regards to their warehouses. I'm actually going to send 5 of them to Latin America because Latin America doesn't have a very big market. And as you can see, inventory surplus shortfall at the end of the year. Latin America is barely going to get any shoes at all. Europe, Africa is going to have a surplus. So what we want to do is we want to take off some more shoes from here, take off approximately 46. So that'll leave us with 905. And we'll put the additional 46 somewhere else in a market that's going to be overcome. So let's put it in the Latin American market to hopefully make us a bit more money. Now, as you can see down here, what's happening as we sit here and change values, and this occurs for all the different screens, mind you, is a new forecast, projected year 12 performance, how the game assumes you're going to do. With this in mind, it's predicting right now that my earnings per share is going to be 7.42. My return on equity is going to be 32.5. My credit rating will be a B+, which is and my image rating is going to be 86, which is really high for a second-year shoe. More importantly, our net revenues are looking to increase by plus 80, almost 87%, and our net profit is looking to increase by 89%, and we're going to end with about $8,000 in surplus cash, which is really good considering I've spent about $70 million. Now, that 8,000 is actually 8 million, 8.6 million specifically. And our revenues are actually $461 million a year, and our profit is about almost $75 million. So basically, we're making a crap ton of money, or at least it's projecting we're going to make a crap ton. Assuming my predictions are correct, as I've done in the sales forecast, adjusting various numbers all over the place, hopefully these projections are accurate. Now, my strategy, I don't want to go too much into detail of what I'm planning on doing, but I have an idea of taking control of as much of the markets as I can possibly get my hands on. And as you can see here, it's currently forecasting, let me take off free shipping first. It's currently forecasting that just in internet segments, I'm going to be taking over 32%. So there are 3 markets in the game. There's the internet segments, there's wholesale segments, and then there's branded sales. Branded sales, again, are kind of like your Nikes if you're just straight up selling a branded product and you're selling it to retailers all over the world. The wholesale is kind of like a generic product. It costs less to make it, and you sell it en masse to a big distributor, say like Walmart or somebody like that. And then obviously internet segments is actually digital distribution, sort of. Like basically people can go onto my website and they can order my shoes, and how much of that market am I going to own? And as you can see here, it's a very small market compared to branded, but we're going to own a significant portion of the online market as is being forecast. I mean, we're almost tripling our control of the internet market in all 4 regions. So it's looking very, very positive there, and I'm pretty excited for that. The wholesale market, I lost a lot of control of the wholesale market in the first turn because I wasn't competing very well. And I mean, it is what it is. But with bidding prices and so on, we're shooting to take back control of these markets, or at least to get a larger share. Again, we have like almost no control of the North American market in terms of wholesale production, but the European market, the Asian Pacific market, and the Latin American market, we're going to have a pretty good amount percentage. Keep in mind, there are 7 students in this class, including myself, and So basically, I'm competing against 7 companies. However, I'm predicting that of these companies, only 6 are going to be competing in the North American market. I'm predicting only 5 will compete in the European Africa market, and then 6 in Asia Pacific, and 6 in the Latin American market. So yeah. And again, if you're confused, I don't blame you. It took me a couple of hours to really understand what I was even doing in the game, and it does get pretty complicated in places. And again, I'm probably yelling some gibberish right now to some of you, but I mean, give it time, and as we go through it, it'll kind of make more sense as we go into future episodes. So yeah. And again, this is only a practice round. This isn't actually the gameplay that I'm pretty much being graded on. This is more of just something I wanted to show off to you guys as to what's currently happening in the practice round as we speak. So let's go take a look at the Internet Marketing tab. Under Internet Marketing, again, you're forecasting how things are going to look. I'm basically saying that my SQ ratings, which are pretty much the quality of your shoe, how your shoe is rated, in just total quality wise. And as you can see, I have a high rating, 6. It's 1 out of 10. So my rating is above the average, which is currently 5. Most people probably have 4 still as the quality of their shoe, but I've decided that having a high quality shoe is incredibly important to me. And as you can see, it's 666 all the way down the board. Yeah, that's right. And we have plenty of models available. And we have celebrity appeal, which is something we did not have in the first year. Celebrity endorsements is something that exists in this game as well. As you can see here, I have Oprah Beyonce endorsing my shoes for $2.5 million. That's right. She's quite an expensive catch, but she is an absolutely wonderful one. She has 100 appeal in the North American region, 70 in the Europe-Africa region, 65 in the Asian Pacific, and 75 in the Latin American markets. So she's a really, really good catch for me. I was looking at other people like Shakira Iglesias, maybe Yilin, or even Bronco Mars, but I haven't really jumped on any of those because it's a lot of money to be throwing into endorsements, but at the same time, it's not really all that bad of a deal. Some of these people aren't even available until later on, so actually, you know what? Let's try to go for Jose Montana and try to get, or let's get her. Michelle Wee. Let's get her because we own a pretty large share of the Asian market, so I would actually like to get control of her. So we'll do that. We'll bid $1 million. I'll bid $1 million for her, and we don't have a cap on it, but I guess it doesn't really matter too much because I don't think they'll bid too much to get control of her or to sign her to a deal. All right. So let's go to Wholesale Marketing. Wholesale Marketing is where you make a little bit more specific details regarding how you're going to sell your wholesale shoes. As you can see here, from year 11, my prices were really high. And as such, I didn't sell a lot of shoes. I actually lost a lot of retailers. So what I've done is I've brought down prices significantly in all markets aside from in the Asian Pacific market. And I also haven't really brought the price down much here either because, frankly, I'll end up just losing money by doing that without taking any type of dominant share. As you can see, I keep lowering the price, but it does not affect my forecast prediction on the market share. So that means people are trying to compete here, or I don't have enough to compete here. So basically, with current production values, it just makes more sense that I just go ahead and sell it for 45 or 46. Let's try 47. Let's see if that increases it. Yeah, 47 increases it too. Huh, not bad. So basically, it's predicting me at making that much right now, which is a pretty solid number, plus 90%. What about 48? Would that do anything? Yeah, that still increases. What about 49? I mean, hell, I'm going to keep going up. If basically what it's saying is shortfall-wise, I'm still going to make enough money to make up for these losses here. And I'm not losing control of any part of the market by doing so, by increasing it bit by bit. So, I mean, I'm just going to keep increasing it until it pretty much caps out. Let's try 52. Wow, okay. Well, all right. It just keeps going up. 53. All right. We're still at 100%. So 53, I think, is a pretty good place to stop on that. Well, you know what? Let's try 55. 55. All right. So there it's kind of capping out now. So 54, go back down. No, was it capping out? Nope, it didn't cap out. What about 56? Nope, it didn't. There we go. Okay, so it caps out at 56. So 55 seems to be a good place. We're pretty much making the majority of our money back. Inventory surplus. We're not seeing any fall in our inventory. And we're seeing a 100% increase in net profit, as opposed to if we brought it back down to 46, that's about $6 million we're not making. So it's an 11% increase by just increasing the price by about $9, because we're still going to sell that product anyway. No matter what we do, we're going to sell that product. So it's better to sell the products we're going to sell and make our money on it, and we'll still own this part of the market, which is 12.4%. It is forecasted to be less, but that's not really that big of a deal because we're seeing growth in all other markets, especially the European African market. This is actually the market I think I'm most concerned about, just because that's a lot. That's a lot of shoes we have to fill there. So that's something I'm a little concerned about, but hopefully it'll end up positive in our favor. And I'm just sitting here messing around with some of the numbers. This is one of the biggest things about this game is it's very addicting to just sit here and kind of mess around with the numbers and see what the forecasts say. You can't always believe what the forecasts are going to say. Again, they're optimistic. They think the best of all worlds is going to happen. But me and you both know that's not always what happens. So sometimes you just have to be mentally prepared for the eventuality that may not be the case. And I'm actually going to decrease our wholesale price, our bids down to 34%. I really want control of that market really badly. I want to make sure I gain control of these bids so that I can pretty much sell my shoes and own a huge market share. So that's pretty much what I'm going for right now. Now, these decreases are decreasing the amount of money we're going to make overall, but I don't know. It might not be that bad. We'll see. We might still be able to keep that one there. Yeah, we'll just keep that one there. We're still going to own the Asian Pacific market and the LA market and so on. So this is, if these bids are accepted, this shows here about how much of a share of the market we're going to own. And 68% of a market is effing ridiculous. Like, there's no justifiable reason why I should own that much of the market if the bid is accepted. But it shows that my shoe is making money, which is absolutely wonderful. So yes. There's a lot of stuff that can be said about this game. There's, like, honestly, I could probably go on for a while. There we go. I bring it down to 50,000. Yeah, look at that. We're still making positive. Brings my credit rating up and everything. Oh, that's just absolutely wonderful. Whew. But yeah, seriously, there's a lot of stuff I could say about this game. I could talk for hours because it's a very intricate game. It's very in-depth, and it's incredibly interesting. But honestly, the best way for me to show you how this game is going to work is over time as we play through it and we take a look at it and we see how it ends up being. Hopefully, you guys are going to end up really liking this game. I hope so, because personally, I think this game is an absolute ton fun. It's really, really fun. I want to exit out. There we go. It's not letting me do that. Why? Pourquoi? Did I decrease, increase, decrease? Let's do that. I don't understand. That is a valid number. Maybe I just got to put it to 0. Okay, that's what I was doing wrong. I'm sorry. I'm not the smartest in the bag. But basically, by doing the 5-year bank loan, has higher interest, but we have to pay back less per year, and also it increases our credit rating to an A, bringing our default risk, our default risk down to low, which is absolutely what we need to do for investors to like us a lot more. And as you can see here, our shareholder equity is going to increase by $80 million. So yes, things are looking pretty good. If we are able to do what we are planning on doing here, then my company is going to be incredibly successful in year 12. And I'm really excited to see what happens. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll try to explain them to the best of my capabilities, because there is a lot of information on these screens. There's a lot you kind of have to look at and take in. Honestly, more than I can explain with one simple little video. And even then, I haven't explained a majority of what's going on behind the scenes. Like, I haven't even touched on private label operations. I haven't talked about finance and cash flow. I've just explained very limited about the bank loans and whatnot. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on here, and there's a lot that goes into this game, but ultimately this game is really freaking cool, and I really like this game thus far. But anyway, this has been Commissar Bro. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you've found a little bit of interest in this. Again, it's kind of... To some people, this may be incredibly boring looking, but to me, this game is an absolute blast. Like, I think this is really fun and really cool, and I really like this game. Like, I'm excited. I'm excited for the next round. I'm really excited for it, and especially look at that increase. Look at that increase in money. Oh, that looks wonderful. I hope it actually ends up at least being about half of that, because even if we see an increase in $40 million in profits, that's still absolutely wonderful, and the earnings per share increasing that much would just be insane. That return on equity is disgusting. But anyway, this has been Commissar Bro, and I forgot my name, and I'll catch you guys next time.